Welcome back to Open Up. Thank you so much for coming back and staying with us.
You bet. Tina Miller there, Don
Woo!
Clark here. So glad
Yes.
to have you. A special hello to friends over in Germany. I'm told that Germany is very much like my home state of Oregon. Very green, very lush, very beautiful. All the servicemen I know that have been over there just think it's a great spot. So howdy to all you folks over and across the Atlantic.
Yes, I spent 2 years in Augsburg.
Did you?
Yes,
Gosh,
Don.
I just keep finding a lot more stuff. And
Oh, yes. Loved it. Really loved it. And would love to go back.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right.
Yes. And so we'd like to thank our dear friends, Wendy and Chuck Noss at Nature's Fruit Market and Juice Bar. They always take care of us, really good care of us, take care of our health and give us the education and the knowledge we need to, not only while we're at the store, but when we leave there.
can't hold mine up. I drank it already.
Oh yeah, Don had his so this is Alibaba. We drink it so often. One of our guests had it. He is really enjoying it. And so 2000 8th Street, right across from the Fox Theater and formerly the old Hindley building.
A wonderful guest. Introduce us.
Yes, Don. This is James H. Williams, and we call him Jim because he's our friend. And he's actually president-elect of the East Bakersfield Rotary, but he's here to talk to us today about matching donors.
I just want to point out he has his Rotary pin.
He does?
And if he didn't have it on, they'd fine him the next time he was on. So he's very careful to do that.
Very good.
Wonderful. And actually, Jim is a returning guest. He was on the show earlier, sometime before, talking about another subject, but here today because he is a kidney transplant. Recipient. Thank you very much for joining us again.
Glad to be here.
Okay, Jim, talk to us about how you became involved with matching donors and how it all got started.
Before I do that, if you allow me just a couple of minutes to comment on John's presentation.
Yes, of course.
Which really resonated with me. I really didn't get into the idea of leisure until I was forced into disability retirement. From junior high on, I was a very formal person. I wore a coat and tie to school, to my high school, every day. It was a public school. My wife tells me that if she would let me, I would go to bed wearing a suit. That's just how formal I was. So I really appreciate you've opened my eyes.
Jim, I'm curious, where did that come from? And did the kids laugh at you? Obviously, they weren't wearing suit and ties to high school.
I got the nickname The Professor from my high school friends. I think it had more to do with my propensity for leadership and taking on leadership responsibilities in high school. I just felt that the suit and tie represented leadership
Interesting.
much better than an informal approach. So that's...
Oh, so I see you're not in a suit and tie today.
But you are the president-elect of Bakersfield East Rotary.
And my wife is already looking for sales to buy suits so that when I become president, I can wear a suit to Rotary. But back to matchingdonors.com. In 2005, my kidneys started to fail, and I was placed on dialysis. And within a year and a half, I was forced into disability retirement. I could not function physically any longer.
And what did you retire from?
At that time, I was chancellor of the Yosemite Community College District out of Modesto, California. And prior to that, I was president at Modesto Junior College. So I had not anticipated retiring, and I was 62 at that time. And I was not planning to retire until I was about 68. So it was really, really a downer for me. So anyway, I went on disability retirement. We sold our home in Modesto and moved to what we thought was going to ultimately be our retirement home in Sun City, Arizona. While there, my health started declining very rapidly. I was placed on the national waiting list for transplants. and was told that I could expect a wait of at least 7 years before my name would come to the top of the list for a possible cadaver donation. I knew I would not last 7 years because, again, my health was rapidly declining. So I went online and started looking around and came across this organization called matchingdonors.com. And so I signed up with this organization. They're based out of Canton, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And at that time, they had about 4,000 people on their list of donors.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have about 13,000 donors on their list. But within 6 months, I heard from 4 people across the country who expressed an interest in donating a kidney to me. What you do is, once you sign up with matchingdonors.com, you send them a profile.
Okay.
And the potential donors look at all the profiles, and they kind of choose who they think they would be interested in donating a kidney or a liver or whatever to. So as I said, within 6 months, I'd heard from 4 people. One lady contacted me from Vancouver, Washington. Another lady from Texas, I don't remember the city now. A gentleman out of North Carolina, and another lady out of Flagstaff, Arizona. So I decided to pursue the potential donor from Vancouver, Washington, and we ended up moving along the process. I had signed up with a hospital in Phoenix. There were 2 that do transplants. I'm not going to mention the name of that particular hospital because they ended up rejecting my donor on psychological grounds, according to them. So she was a fighter. She didn't want to give up, and I certainly didn't want to give up, and I wasn't going to give up on her. So we contacted Banner Good Samaritan Hospital, and I will mention their name. I guess I just did, in Phoenix, and they accepted my donor. The transplant was successful, and so, long story short, Banner Good Samaritan, my donor, and matchingdonors.com saved my life. The day that I went in to prep for the surgery and have the surgery, I could barely get out of bed. I was that far down.
Yeah.
So I have discovered over the years, I've come across a number of people who have said to me, my father, my brother, my sister, my mother, my uncle need a transplant, but we have to get on this list and wait for up to between 7 and 15 years. They aren't going to live that long. And when I ask them, well, have you heard about matchingdonors.com, I find out that they haven't. So I readily shared the contact information with them, and I hope that they were successful with matching donors. And
So a lot of people don't know about matching donors.
not really, although they have been on the Today Show 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
They have been rated as the most successful nonprofit transplant organization in the country. But yet and still, there's a lot of people that have never heard it.
Tina, do
about
we
them.
have a full screen of information on this?
Yes, we do.
Chris, why don't we put that up right now while we're right in the midst of this very conversation? There it is, matchingdonors.com. This is my first look at this. And they're at Turnpike Street in Canton, Massachusetts. And there are all the phone numbers. And let's see, it's just matchingdonors.com. That's easy, matchingdonors.com. And there are all the phone numbers. So if there's anyone out there that needs this kind of help in their lives, but Jim, you look like you're just doing wonderfully. You look in great health, and here you are taking on leadership roles in East Rotary, and so tell us about the aftermath.
Well, I like John's comments about living by purpose. Was it? That's what you said. One of the things I missed dearly was being involved in Rotary. When we moved to Phoenix, as I said, I had retired, and I had also resigned from the Modesto Downtown Rotary Club, and I had been in Rotary since 1995. This was around 2007 was when I retired. So we moved back to Bakersfield. My wife has relatives here. And it just so happened that at our retirement community, I was sitting at the table. We were at a function, a community function. And this lady, I didn't know her. She didn't know me. And we just got started talking. And somehow or another, the subject of Rotary came up. And she said, "Oh, my husband is the incoming president of the Bakersfield East Rotary. When he gets back to the table, I'm going to tell him that you're a former Rotarian." So he comes back to the table and immediately invites me to visit the Bakersfield East Rotary Club. And if I liked it, he would sponsor me. I did. I thought it was a great club. The people were great. He sponsored me, and I joined. I became a member and have been very actively involved in that club ever since.
Wow, what a life.
I'll tell
John?
you. I'll tell you. Let's take a break right now, and when we come back, we've got a lot more to talk about here on
Yes.
this subject. We'll be right back.